And she's like, oh, okay, you're body positive. And then I was just like, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a new video for you guys, and it is time for a new curvy girl talk. So let's get right into it. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, and Twitter. And let's get right into the video. So it's been a while since I've done a curvy girl talk, I feel like. And sometimes I get a little bit, when it comes to these kinds of videos, there's an ice cream truck, disregard the sound or whatever. But sometimes when it comes to the curvy girl talk kind of videos, I get really, not confused, but like stuck, because I feel like there's but so much that I can say, and then after a while it's like I'm gonna continue to repeat myself. So that's why these kind of take me a little bit longer to put out. But I am so grateful and appreciative and humbled that you guys really like these videos. I've seen a lot of you guys comment and say how you actually appreciate hearing this point of view because you've never heard of it or have never really thought about this point of view. And that's kind of what my goal is with curvy girl talk videos, is that I don't see that this gets talked about enough. So yeah, I'm just really grateful that you guys actually enjoy these videos, and thank you to the ladies that actually connect and comment, relate in that way, because I know obviously I'm not the only person that experiences these kinds of things or have experienced how it is to grow up with a natural curvy body in today's society. So I really appreciate the ladies that also reach out and share their experience, because as I said, that's the goal. That's why I wanted to start talking about my experience. And yeah, I honestly am just very happy that I've gotten to connect with you guys in that way over something that is just my experience. I feel like that's all we can really talk about, right? It's like what we experience as individuals. And so I'm very appreciative of that. Yeah, so I just really wanted to say that. Okay, so for today's curvy girl talk, I'm gonna talk about weight, body positive comments, the very thin lines between being considered curvy and then people just body shaming. Yeah, so I'm gonna touch on all of that, and I'm gonna try to tie it into something, like one main idea, and I'm gonna share some of my personal experiences with you guys, as I always do. There's always a lot of talk of what's considered thick versus what's considered fat versus what's considered body positive or curvy. You know, it's just a lot of random titles and labels that are thrown on women who have curvy bodies, and honestly women in general, but especially curvy body women. Even me having to say curvy body or titling these kinds of chats as curvy girl talk, it's very just weird and just off-putting that I have to say and label myself as curvy. But yeah, I figured that, you know, I had to use the title curvy girl in order to really speak from my experience and for people to understand. As I said in previous videos, I don't even think it was previous curvy girl videos, but just previous videos, I'm always okay with using certain labels in order to communicate and to get my point across, even if I don't agree with the label or whatever it is. My hope is that in the future we don't have to differentiate a curvy woman to a plus size, and it's just your actual size. Like, all of these random terms and labels are very divisive overall, and I think that's where a lot of our comparison and competitiveness, especially as women, come from, because you'll have on one part of the store it's just like regular sizes, and then usually all the way in the back of the department store is the plus size section, and just even that kind of thing is just very bizarre. Yeah, it's just very weird. So I'm actually, a lot of people from my pictures and stuff would probably think that I'm a plus size model, but I'm not actually a plus size model, although I'm considered one in many ways. And I think even that's funny. It's just that automatically when you see somebody that's curvy, they have to be, you know, plus size. And not that there's anything wrong with plus size. As I said, I personally have an issue with they're having to be such thing as a plus size instead of just like freaking size. Like, why can't it just be a freaking size? Like, let's get past the whole, oh, you're an extra or you're a plus size. Like, it's just, no, it's just a size. Like, a lot of these terms are the very core. It can be hurtful, and it's very, as I said, divisive. You're not considered in a sense like regular sized. Like, that is just such a mind-boggling and it's just very, I don't know. It might be minuscule to some, but honestly, in my perspective, I think it's just lame. It's just outdated, and I honestly can't wait for in the future it just to be considered different sizes, and that's it. Small size, a large size, small size to bigger size, it doesn't freaking matter. But anyway, so as I was saying, I honestly, some people consider me as a plus size model. I actually can't wear plus size because I'm very small. I'm actually really short, and I think honestly that's probably what it is. That's probably why I'm not plus size. If I was taller, maybe I'll be a plus size model, but I'm small, so I don't feel completely comfortable speaking for plus size model because as I said, I'm not a plus size model, but I will speak on the behalf of just being a curvy woman and noticing how divisive the community is and how it's like it really does something to like separate and compete with women. Like, even something as far as a lot of clothing departments will have sizes small through large available and then have plus sizes coming out later. It's the same way people feel like when stuff come out for an Apple phone versus we'll take care of Android later, or makeup brands that come out with lighter skin tone foundations and concealers and then take care of the darker skin tones later. Like, you're always going to be like runner up, you know? It's not anything about any kind of equality yet. And this is part of the reason why I came up with talking about the concept of the curvy girl experience, because a lot of people would say, oh, but curvy bodies are celebrated. Like, there are a lot of plus size models and there's a lot of brands that are inclusive as far as like, you know, body size and all of that stuff, and there's not as much body shaming. But truthfully, there's still a lot of underlying that we have not gotten to, and even seeing the divisiveness as far as in the clothing departments and stuff, and seeing how plus sizes usually come later is like a huge thing that is not talked about enough, and it's not necessarily addressed at all by a lot of clothing departments and overall on such a big platform as social media. So that's something I'm super passionate about, and if I ever come out with a clothing company, I will be sure to have all range and sizes all at the same time, because that shit is just so unfair. And I apologize for cursing. I get really passionate about certain things, and I am a huge feminist, so I get really passionate about these types of things, and I just see how a lot of things are geared towards having people, us as humans, compete against each other in the society, and it's all messed up. Okay, like, it's all messed up. Let's move on. So another thing I want to talk about is specific experience I had. And as I've mentioned in previous curvy girl talks, as a curvy girl, your body and your weight seems to be mentioned a lot. Like, if you haven't seen someone in a long time, you know, they're gonna comment, or if you have big hips and stuff and all of that, that's going to possibly be mentioned. So like, your weight is always a topic of conversation. And then there's like that small thin borderline on like where you're just considered to have a nice curvy body versus, ooh, you've gained a little too much weight, or you've gotten fat, or whatever it is. I've honestly, in my day-to-day conversations, I don't always talk about my body or anything like that, but whenever I've had conversations about certain things, I personally sometimes will take the power from the word fat and just call myself like, yeah, I'm fat, like whatever, like, because it's just, it holds so much power in the fact that it can play a lot of negative thoughts and stuff on repeat in your mind. Let me tell you guys about the specific encounter I had. Honestly, it wasn't that long ago either. It was a couple of months ago. I'm not gonna give any names on anything because it's no point. So I went into a store. This particular store always has events. So I went in there and I was asking about the events and all of that stuff, and then you know, we just got to small conversation and small talk and all of that stuff, and then it came into, oh, you have what's your social media or whatever. Oh, because she had asked about my occupation and stuff, so I told her, and then she asked me for my social media, and then she went on my social media and it was just like the first, honestly, it was at first glance. And it was like, usually when people go on my social media, they mention it, oh, you have a huge following, blah, blah, blah. That's so cool, blah, blah. And then she only saw like the first 3 or 6 pictures. She didn't scroll a lot at all. But even if she did, it didn't matter. And she's like, oh, okay, you're body positive. I was caught off guard, but at the same time, it didn't surprise me. The conversation was already kind of like, you can kind of feel when somebody's being a little bit like like backhanded compliments, that kind of thing, type of. So you can already kind of feel that it was very disingenuous from the beginning. So it just didn't necessarily surprise me, but that was the first time that I kind of had someone do that in person, or at least in a very, very long time. So my issue with that, and it kind of stayed on my mind for a little bit, because nowhere on my page does it say that I'm body positive. And body positive is usually used as a term to say like, you don't fit into the regular sized person shape or whatever. You're not considered a normal body type, you know? So you're body positive because you're wearing whatever you want and you feel positive about your body. So you're exuding positivity on different body types, kind of thing. So that's kind of where body positive comes from. And the only reason why I have an issue with that term is because that's all just, it's really just a way, it's honestly within the name itself, it's a backhanded compliment. It's just like, you're telling me that I'm body positive. You're basically complimenting me for loving my body, even though it doesn't fit into societal constructs. There's a lot of influencers and content creators that do just use that term, like, yeah, I'm body positive, I love my body, blah blah blah. And I don't have a problem with anybody using that word. However, it's just from the very get of the word, it's just a backhanded type of thing. Like, I have to be positive about my body because it doesn't fit into what your ideal body type is like. And so that's where my kind of issue comes with the entire thing. It's just like, everybody should be body positive. Everybody should love their body. It's not only because I'm curvy that I have to be body positive, or that I'm labeled as body positive. And it's so funny because a couple of days right after that experience, I saw someone say like, stop telling me I'm body positive. I'm a body positive influencer. I'm just a freaking influencer, and this is just my body. Like, that's it. Like, I love my body, obviously, but there's no reason for you to ever say like, oh, you're body positive, or you have to label yourself as I'm body positive. I guess overall what I'm saying is, it's a more progressed way to still keep you in a box of feeling and knowing that you're not regular sized. And those kinds of things become a problem for people's self-esteem, is what I'm trying to say. And it's just one of those things that kind of remind you that although you feel like society is advancing and stuff, obviously with everything going on in the world, that's a whole lie. And when it comes to body size and body shaming, that's just a whole another level of stuff and things that we have to get into, because it's a lot. It's really, really, really a lot. And there is a lot of discrimination against curvy bodies, which is crazy. So don't let them fool you into thinking that, oh, but curvy bodies is a thing now. No, yeah, like, no, there's still a lot of work to be done. There's still a lot of misconceptions. There's still a lot of divisiveness. There's still a lot. And I'll just leave it at that. This video was a little bit deeper than I think my typical curvy girl talks, and it was inspired by what I see and how curvy girls are treated versus just regular females. And also, as I said, my recent experience that happened months ago. And I'm surprised that I didn't mention that before. I didn't share that experience before, but I'm glad that I was able to sit on it and then also see it happen on social media, so I can actually speak on it from different perspectives and stuff. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, and Twitter. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!